Glutamate and disorder. Glutamate is the brain's primary excitatory neurotransmitter. While some neurotransmitters calm neural activity, glutamate does the opposite. It increases the likelihood that neurons will fire, playing a central role in learning, memory, and communication across the brain. Without glutamate, the brain would not be able to form new memories or process information efficiently. But like all neurotransmitters, glutamate must be carefully regulated. So what happens when glutamate systems become unbalanced? To understand this, we begin with a brief history. Glutamate was identified as a neurotransmitter in the mid-20th century, although it was already known as an amino acid involved in metabolism. Researchers later discovered that it plays a crucial role in synaptic transmission, particularly in processes such as long-term potentiation, which underlies learning and memory. Glutamate acts at several types of receptors, including NMDA and AMPA receptors, which are essential for strengthening connections between neurons. However, too much glutamate can be dangerous. Excessive glutamate activity can lead to a process known as excitotoxicity, where neurons become overactivated and begin to damage or kill themselves. This process is central to several neurological and psychiatric disorders. One of the most well-known conditions associated with glutamate dysfunction is stroke. During a stroke, blood flow to parts of the brain is disrupted, depriving neurons of oxygen and energy. As a result, glutamate is released in large amounts and cannot be cleared effectively. This leads to excessive activation of neurons, causing excitotoxicity and widespread cell damage. This is one of the key mechanisms behind brain injury during a stroke. A second major disorder linked to glutamate is epilepsy. Epilepsy involves abnormal and excessive electrical activity in the brain, leading to seizures. Glutamate, as the main excitatory neurotransmitter, plays a central role in this process. If glutamate activity becomes too high, or inhibitory systems, such as GABA, are not strong enough to balance it, neurons can fire uncontrollably. This leads to the sudden bursts of activity seen in seizures. Many treatments for epilepsy aim to reduce excitatory activity or enhance inhibitory processes to restore balance. A third important disorder is Alzheimer's disease. In Alzheimer's disease, glutamate dysfunction contributes to neurodegeneration. Excessive activation of NMDA receptors can lead to excitotoxic damage, particularly in areas involved in memory, such as the hippocampus. This contributes to the progressive loss of neurons and the decline in cognitive function. Some treatments for Alzheimer's, such as NMDA receptor antagonists, aim to reduce this overactivation and protect neurons from damage. Another condition associated with glutamate is schizophrenia. While schizophrenia has traditionally been linked to dopamine, there is strong evidence that glutamate also plays a role. The glutamate hypothesis of schizophrenia suggests that reduced activity at NMDA receptors may contribute to symptoms. This may affect how different brain regions communicate, leading to difficulties with perception, thinking, and cognition. This highlights an important point. Glutamate-related disorders are not only about too much activity. In some cases, reduced or dysfunctional glutamate signaling can also cause problems. There is also evidence linking glutamate to amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, often known as ALS. In this condition, motor neurons gradually degenerate, leading to muscle weakness and loss of movement. One proposed mechanism involves glutamate excitotoxicity, where excessive glutamate damages motor neurons over time. This again demonstrates how prolonged overactivation can lead to cell death. From a broader perspective, these disorders highlight several key principles. First, glutamate is essential for brain function, particularly in learning and memory. However, it must be tightly controlled. Second, Too much glutamate can be harmful, leading to overexcitation and cell damage. This is seen in conditions such as stroke and epilepsy. Third, glutamate systems interact with other neurotransmitters, particularly GABA. The balance between excitation and inhibition is critical for normal brain function. There are also important implications for treatment. Many modern treatments aim to regulate glutamate activity, either by reducing overactivation or by supporting normal signaling. However, this is challenging because glutamate is so widely used throughout the brain. Targeting it without disrupting normal function requires careful precision. It is also important to evaluate glutamate explanations carefully. While glutamate plays a key role in many disorders, it is rarely the sole cause. Conditions such as Alzheimer's disease and schizophrenia involve multiple interacting factors, including genetics, other neurotransmitters, and environmental influences. Despite this, glutamate remains central to our understanding of brain function and dysfunction. So what is the key takeaway? Glutamate is the brain's primary excitatory neurotransmitter, essential for learning, memory, and communication. When its systems become unbalanced, it can contribute to disorders such as stroke, epilepsy, Alzheimer's disease, schizophrenia, and ALS. More broadly, these conditions show how important it is for the brain to maintain a balance between excitation and inhibition. So the next time you learn something new or form a memory, remember this. That process depends on glutamate strengthening connections in your brain. And when that same system becomes overactive, it can cause damage instead. A powerful reminder that the very processes that allow us to think and learn must be carefully controlled to protect the brain.
If you enjoyed our channel, please click subscribe.